Prophet Uebert angel on the new gold, and Prophet Uebert angel mentioned an element of creation that is going to be expensive, that is going to be valuable than gold and even Bitcoin. And I want you, it's a very long video. I have made this video very long. Not that I'm talking to for a very long time. I'm going to talk for very short. Watch this video to the end. Make sure you watch everything to the end. And you are going to be blessed. Trust me on this one. Watch what Prophet Ibrahim just said about water. Let's go.
So something very extraordinary. It looked like the whole globe of the earth was put in one place. And I could come, reach it, but I would reach it from a certain distance, yet it was so huge, but not the way it is. It's like you can carry it with a few aids and put it in a room. And then I looked and I saw one angel, one leg in South Africa, like, the southern part of Africa, and another leg, like reaching Texas. And he was standing there. And I looked up and I began to see his hands. And to the right hand, he had a scale, like a silver scale. And on the right hand, he would pick up objects and then put it in the scales. But I only got to see the objects when they were now in the scales. And to his left, he had gold. To his right, he had water. I said, look closely to what you see. And I looked and he said, what do you see? And at first it was very difficult because I just mentioned, I'm seeing water dripping from this side and I'm seeing gold on this side. Water is spilling, but the gold is just intact there. He said, but what do you see? I looked again and I realized that the water was tipping the gold. So it weighed more than the gold. And from there, he said, I want to show you something from what you have seen. I began to see as if there were reels being changed. From what I saw, this page is removed and another page is removed. Like I would do when I'm writing on my page, you see as it scrolls like this. You can tell, right? So it's like another page would be removed in the spirit and another one would come in. And I said, what is this? And I began to see water being sold for gold. It was as though it was auctions for water. And God said, I'm about to give you 4 wars that are not military, but they will be started by this. So it is not about military engagements that I'm here for. It will be a war for water. But this is just one. I'm going to give you 4. All right? So 1 today, then you have 3. So I started with the least one, but which is the most important. I don't know if you understand.
Yes, sir.
And he literally said, this will be a new gold rush. Water will be a new gold rush. I know they are not getting what I'm trying to say.
They're missing.
So he said, as much as my people are busy looking for objects that look like they are precious, but have no real value when it comes to life, there is one thing that nations will fight for, and it'll be water. Then he says, I want to show you that there were people that have already understood it, and some have gone, and some new ones are already starting, and some have already grabbed hold of that same resource. Says many will begin to move for water rights, and they'll be more popular, more powerful than what you think Bitcoin is right now. Now you didn't get that. And I understand. That's why I said to you, some of the things I'm saying here are not really probable. So there were going to be water wars. It's not like they're going to throw bombs and stuff like that. It will be very controlled. Yes, people die, but it'll be very controlled. Where water, the very thing you see every day, the very thing you play with every day, the very thing you fill your tubs and spend an hour in there, bathing, that same liquid will become very, very difficult. And this war is starting this year. And as we keep on moving, 2026, 2027, it becomes very, 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 very open. So when the angel was standing there, I could literally see that he just took a little bit of water and put there, and gold begins to. But you see, I never expected it to be like that. I was just seeing water spilling, gold there, that's it. And God said, look deeper. What do you see? I said, oh, this water seems to be heavier than gold. What type of water gets into this and tips gold? Says they're going to be things that people will not understand. And then he flipped the page in the realm of the spirit, and I began to see water, auctions for water, and fights for water rights. Water rights. And it says, look close and see what my people have done, because in their quest for money, for silver, for gold, for filthy lucre, they have forgotten the resource I gave them, which is a need for everyone. This is not for luxury. This is a need. What do you do with gold? Do you eat it? That means if you have gold, you might, if gold stops being something that people demand, nobody's going to die because gold is not in use. But if water is removed, are you flowing?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Are you flowing?
Yes, sir.
Let me show you something, because I get it. You know.
It's scary. You know, I never imagined that one of the wars is water. It's like something that you call a basic thing. And to hear that there is a war which is going to be gravitated by that.
Let me say it this way so that you get it. Do you know, I know people don't get this. Ever heard of a creature called bees? Bees? If bees die today, the world will everyone on earth will die within 4 years.
Wow.
If we don't have bees now, all of a sudden, bees don't exist anymore. Less than 4 years. Everyone on earth will be dead.
Wow.
So what is important, bees or gold?
The bees.
You're getting what I'm trying to say.
Wow.
I don't know if you understand. Are you flowing?
We're flowing.
Are you flowing?
They're flowing. They're flowing, say.
Now, here we go.
Yes, sir.
So since it takes at least 4 years after every bee is killed, how many days will it take for the earth to die if we don't have water? 3 days.
Wow. 3 days.
You can survive without water for 3 days. Yes, we have gone for 40 days. It's okay. So there are some generals who can continue pulling. But generally, people can do 3 days. And then they start getting into a mode where they don't know what to do. So we can say a human being can survive 8 to 21 days without food. So we can put it on 30 days. We'll have a lot of problems on earth. Very few people would be alive after the 30th day. But bees, 4 years. What I'm trying to say is there are things that are necessary for life to be there. Then there are things that the world has given value to when it has no value. I like what Warren Buffett said one time. He said he didn't want to invest in gold. He says, because if aliens in Pluto or Mars are looking down and they see soldiers and guards guarding a certain bank, and they have guns and everything. And then they say, what is in that room? They say, oh, there is something there. Say, open it. And they open, wow, and the aliens are looking, and they see a box, cube of gold. They say, does it give birth? Say, no, 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 no. Does it give oxygen? Ah, zero. What does it do? It shines. It just shines. Wow, that's all it does. Yeah, it just shines. And then what? We make rings out of it, and just a few other, there's some utilities that require it, and that's it. Says, okay, after we wait for 20 days, will it have multiplied? They said, no, 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 it doesn't multiply this one. So that's why I don't want to buy it. I want something that you can multiply. I understood it, but of course, he changed his mind a few years later and bought some mining rights somewhere. I don't know what happened to. He bought some shares into a mining company. But anyway, that's another story. So he told me some people have already gotten into this area where they have understood what water rights are. So I sat down with my team and told them, look, as we're traveling with Pastor Felix, and I began to detail how many wars I was shown, conflicts that will result out of these 4 things. And starting this year. And we begin to look at what God was saying, that there are people that actually understood it, that have already done so. They're very clever. They've already done so. Then he said to me, some of the lands that people are buying, they're not buying land to do farming. They're buying land for water resources. They are there to secure water rights so nobody can fight them. Imagine somebody buys water rights and you want water, and then they can close the source of the water. You got to go back to them and beg them to open that source of water. You're not getting it. Since the 1990s, most countries have actually taken over water rights. I want to give you something like Botswana, Eswatini, Zambia, Zimbabwe. These countries, you have no, per se, you can't say you have rights to private rights to water. No, you're not getting it. These rights are managed for public interest. That means all they want is for the public to actually gain access. That's why in our tradition we say water should be free even for strangers. Yes, sir. You see, as you pass by our house in the rural areas, we offer you water. It's a cultural thing. Even to the point where Madagascar, Burundi, Cameroon, all their water rights bills were written in French, in other languages. Very difficult to decipher what they are trying to say. Let me give you something so you understand. Most of you do not understand this. Hear this, hear this, hear this. We have, of course, water in Africa. Let me give you, for example, Africa. We have land, surface, then we have water. 36% of the land in Africa, all right, African land, 36% is owned by foreigners. No, you did not hear me clearly. So 36% is owned by foreigners. Do you know how much China owns of African land? 7%. No. People don't get this. We're talking about a foreign country owning land in Africa. That doesn't belong to you. It belongs to the people, Republic of China. Now they're not getting this. That's 186,000 square miles. Let me just show you that. The total area of Africa is approximately 1.2 billion acres, of which 71% is covered by land, 29% is covered by water. The total area of land that China owns in Africa is approximately 186,000 square miles. That's 465,000 square kilometers.
Mm.
I don't know if they're getting this. That's close. Of course, the United Kingdom is 243 or some square kilometers. That means they own the size of Britain inside Africa.
Wow.
Now, if the water rights pass through their land, if they have the water, they have the water rights there. They can control that. There is no ability for anyone in Africa here to chase China out. I'm by no means saying China should be chased out of the country. I'm not saying they're controlling the water rights. I'm trying to tell you how people already control your land now. Are they evil? No, they found loopholes. But those loopholes are lining up with the prophets that God has given. I don't know if you're getting this. I bought land somewhere, over 150 hectares, over 150 hectares of land somewhere. And after I had done that, the first tract of land we bought, one time we went back in there with our teams and we find the Chinese people in there with their helmets, everyone taking samples. They'd already dug, up somewhere. And the moment they saw us, they ran. Yeah, they ran. And I remember the member of parliament just a few years later said, "You know that land of yours?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "Oh, what are you using it for?" So I told him some other story. He said, "Do you know there is gold there?" Yes, I said, "I don't know." I said, "I have no idea what you're talking about." But we had seen these guys come in there when we were not there and try to take samples every time. And they're smart. Because we didn't know who owned that land. We didn't fence it until we said, "You know what? Fence it around." Because they are prospecting, Yeah. Are you getting this now?
Yes, sir.
Hope you are getting it.
They're getting it, sir.
So, if you look at UK alone, it owns huge tracts of land in Sierra Leone. UK and France, they are already controlling land in Africa. To the average person, they want to mine. They want to farm. You gotta ask President Mugabe what happened when he was doing the land reform program. There were so many farmers that had maize showing in the farm. In the middle, there'll be a mine for gold or diamonds. Shafts there. We got another land again a few months back. And they said, "Do you know this place you call your office? What was there?" I said, "What do you mean was here?" So that was the house of this man. That's the first shaft for gold that he was using. He would act as if he was in his house. So the land was there, looked like the man was building his house. The land was there, looked as if they are actually doing farming. Yet inside the farm, they were looking for something beyond the maize. So the Lord said, "I've already seen, and I'm making you see what people are not seeing. That this land that they're leaving, letting go of the land, and not even considering what will be there." Nobody here, if you talk to someone and say, "We are selling water," they will say, water is everywhere. Imagine that over 70% of the world is water. And yet the water that you see there is salt water from the sea. You can't drink it. "Oh yeah, Israel has managed to do it. They have done reverse osmosis. They have done distillation. They are able to drink the water from the sea." You forgot one thing there. There is one problem. It requires more energy, consumption to do that process. That it will not be worth it after they change the water and it's now drinkable. It will cost more than the water you see now. To the point that these hydrogen cars you're waiting for will never be anything. You think they're going to be cheap because it's water. You have another thing coming. You think they don't know? You think that they don't want to just bring it? It's going to be cheap. You just take tap water and put it in there. Maleko sapratela kashtanda. You crazy. It's going to be very difficult. They know it. Some people are not getting it. Let me read Lamentations 5, verse number 1 in the Message Bible. Lamentations 5, verse number 1 in the Message Bible. Remember, O Lord, all we have been through. Study our plight, our problems, our predicament, the black mark we have made in history. Our precious land has been given to outsiders. No. They didn't get that. Our homes to foreigners. Orphans we are, not a father in sight. Our mothers not better than widows. We have to pay to drink our own water. I don't know if you're getting this.
Yes, sir.
Now it says our own water. We are nothing but slaves, bullied and bowed, worn out and without any rest. We sold ourselves to Assyria and Egypt just to get something to eat. Our parents sinned and are no more. And now we are paying for the wrongs they did. Slaves rule over us. There is no escape from their grip. He's describing a moment when even water that belongs to them is no longer theirs. He is not saying water is for sale. He is saying the water was free because it was my land. But I never knew the land was not mine. I want to show you something. And here it has nothing to do with China so that you get your markers correct. I want to show you what the Chinese-owned farmland in America is. It is near, let me show you.
So it is happening, Just you now just oppose and understand water rights. Water rights. Google what is water rights. You understand what it means by water rights and all of that. Own lands, guys. Own lands. Buy lands. If you have money, some people. I understand some people want to invest into this finance space, crypto, and all of that. But buy lands. They are very tangible. Land is tangible. If you don't know if you can build with it, do farms with it. It can be animal farming. It can be crop production and all of that. Buy lands, bro. Buy lands. If you are listening to me and you are listening from, Europe, you are an African from Europe, African from the Caribbean, African from America, and all of that. If you want to do something from your homeland, buy lands. Vast lands. It can be hectares, it can be acres of land, right? If you don't have money to buy a hectare of land is not small. But then, acres of land, buy lands, buy them and do something with them. It is very important because when you own the land, you own the people. You get what I mean? So it is what it is. I'm not going to talk long on this one. So that is what Prophet Ibe Angel said about, water rights water going to be very valuable than even gold and BDC, right? My name is Shodanis. I love to break down gospel messages like this. Make sure to subscribe, share, and like this video. I'm out.